When things become tough or uncertain for you, it is important that you keep this one thing in mind. If it's something that you haven't thought about yet or haven't found, whenever times get tough or whenever you are feeling like giving up on things you've been chasing after actively, you'll sink to way below baseline and revert to your old self. A lot of you can probably pick up what this thing is based on the title and what I'm talking about. But for those of you uninformed, I am talking about a purpose or a will to keep going. This is probably the single most blatant killer of dreams, progress, and ascension overall. It is literally the only thing fundamentally that will keep you on track, even if it's the littlest of margin, and keep it so that life still feels worth living. So, if this is something that you don't have yet, it's important and highly recommended that you find it very soon. Because if you're watching this video, it's likely that you already know what I'm talking about, or it's because the algorithm thinks that you need to change, or that you want to change and are actively struggling to do so. This is not something that should really be easily brought out to the surface when you dwell on it. It is something that you should be actively thinking long and hard about, and it realistically should take you more than a few days to probably sort out and really dial in on what it is for you. When you're someone who believes they are destined to do great things or better things, for lack of another comparison, having a properly sorted why and underlying motivation and a will to keep going and persevering and pushing forward is going to be the thing that actually catapults you further versus the people who are just idealistic non-action takers. Because the truth is, in order to get something that you really want that you don't have, it's going to require sacrifice, it's going to require pain, and it's going to require a fuck ton of confusion, both mentally, physically, and just everything. So hard. So when, like I was saying, when you're actively pursuing something, you're going to run into wall after wall after wall, or just any obstacles that are trying to slow you down and drag you down and kill your progress. This could be other people, it could be vices, and most importantly and most likely, it's going to be your own mind. Especially if you come from a place that was like the opposite of who you were beforehand. Once you actively make progress and reflect on how much you've changed in the long run, it becomes difficult to celebrate your own successes and how far you've came, because the old person, the old you that's still left in your head, will be constantly fighting back and trying to crawl its way back into your life. I don't believe it's important or correct to try and silence that part of yourself or kill that part of yourself, rather than to try to nurture and heal that part of yourself up to where you're at now. Because, one day you could be grinding and then the next day your whole life is completely different. That's generally how change works, kind of. Usually it's like, dedicated action over a however long amount of period of time. Usually takes a while, but one day it'll be like, oh shit, I actually have changed a lot. Or this goal is actually super close, or whatever it may be, right? And when you have that realization, it's highly likely that the part of yourself that you're trying to change or maybe withdraw from has not caught up yet. So you have to nurture it and sort of slowly convince that part of yourself that this is now the new normal and that things are in fact different. And that part of you doesn't want to hear that shit at all. You may be living out your craziest of dreams, and every day feels like a blessing. But at least for people like me, there's a part of you that is still trying to clench and keep hold of the past self in any which way possible. And if you're someone like this, I recommend this is what you do. You can't just keep ignoring it or thinking it's going away. You have to put yourself in a dark room and think about the stuff and reflect upon it. You have to sit with your old self and really feel out and determine where the mindset of lack really stems from, or the lack to change really stems from. This is not going to be an easy thing to do. It's in fact going to probably cause you to feel emotions you have not felt for a long amount of time, or maybe ever. And it's probably going to be a pretty frequent thing that you experience. You know, not every nothing worth having is ever obtained easily. Yes, you could brute force max your way to the tippy top or to a spot that you think you have made it to, for lack of a better word. But if you consistently neglect the person you once were or the life you once had and never really sit and acknowledge it, you'll have, in theory, everything you ever wanted, but you're still going to feel broken, numb, scared, lonely, blah, blah, blah inside. So, to anyone that's watching in pursuit of something that they believe to be greater than themselves, keep going at it 110%. Live life to the fullest, but most importantly, don't forget where you came from and make sure you stop, reflect, and smell the roses. Otherwise, you're going to lose the plot and you're going to wake up one day just being like, was this all worth it at all? I have $9 trillion and it still feels like everyone in my life hates me. Don't be that guy. Be the guy that wakes up ready to fuck the day raw and enjoy every second of it. And if you don't know me, my name is Alex. I make content designed to get you better. A lot of you may know me from my IT related content. On YouTube, I'm trying to branch out a bit more and trying to do long form, more stuff I want to make more that I'm having more fun creating. So if you like that stuff and like this stuff, please welcome, please subscribe, like all that good stuff. And thank you for watching.